as I was mentioning earlier, I believe the crypto ecosystem is greater than the current financial system. It's better. And I think the integration and utility that can be created through payment systems in crypto, especially globally with companies like Shopify, which we mentioned, or Amazon, give crypto a lot of potential. And I think even from a governmental perspective, as a reserve currency or a store of value, I think Bitcoin has a long future in front of it. And right now we can't even get traditional players to even play, like with an ETF and things like that. So we have found in our experience with our partnership with Gemini and with our clients, there's just tremendous demand for people to own digital assets and store them somewhere safely, so this is just so early in the overall ecosystem of Bitcoin. I think in a lot of ways, things got ahead of themselves in that, everybody's like, oh, Bitcoin is going to solve every problem and boom, it's done. And I was like, well, it can solve all these problems, but somebody has to do it. And that's the stage we're in now, which is crypto is mainstream accepted. And I think almost most young people have crypto now, if you talk to younger people. But what do they do with it? And so they found some utility in buying and selling NFTs, which they will find eventually no utility with. And then eventually they're going to see there's utility for a certain amount of transaction type stuff or smart contracts. But in essence, the greatest utility of Bitcoin is not being a part of the financial system. That's the greatest utility of it, is that it exists outside the financial system. Because the hardest thing in the world is going into Bank of America and getting a loan. So if crypto can solve issues like lending, boy, the banking system has a lot to be worried about. And I think they will. And I think Jack Dorsey is one of those guys that's going to do it. I went onto the Square app the other day and it said, file your tax return now. Just click here for free. So I clicked on it. And of course, they're not filing my tax return. It's like 130 pages. So I don't think I qualify for that one. But I thought, for, a good 30% of people, their taxes are simple. And click, my tax returns filed is the future. Okay. It's not going to be TurboTax. Okay. It's going to be people like Square who already are ingrained in your financial life. Square, PayPal, and Coinbase are the three positions we have in GK, in my firm, that represent, I think, the fintech revolution and the best opportunity to build an ecosystem. Square already has half the ecosystem built. So I think for Square, they have to find where they go from here. Okay. So you've got readers and merchants. You can buy it on the Cash App, but they've got to integrate this all into a system. Kind of like why I like the Coinbase Shopify thing better. So what's happening is I've become less bullish on Square and more bullish on Coinbase. And Jack has become a little bit more trying to be like an Elon Musk of Square, like being on Twitter and like trying to be this like Elon Musk, but he's not. And then he changed the name to Block when Square had built such a great brand. And Block is a horrible name. Like for a lot of reasons why it's a horrible name. Like he didn't think about just the imagery of a block. A square is the same as a block, but a square you don't perceive as negative, but a block you do. When you think about a block, it's something that blocks you. Like I do advertising. I do marketing. Okay. That's my thing. I went to the Ann Arbor School of Communications. Okay. And so when I see stuff like this and corporations that spend probably tens of thousands of dollars on teams to try to come up with these names and things, and then you see these moves like Meta and Block, and you go, this is just desperate. It's a desperation to seem relevant versus building off a brand that already was relevant. So that's my concern with Square right now, is that they got too good. They got too many things going, and now they've kind of lost their way. Like what's next? So if we don't really make money on merchants, okay, we do make money selling people Bitcoin. That's easy because we're making, 4% a transaction or whatever. But like they don't probably make much money on lending, so it sort of gets back into this business of like, well, where does this end? Like, where's the profitable part? Where does this end? And I think investors are starting to ask those questions, and that's the problem with Square. Where Coinbase is a brokerage firm. Coinbase is an app where you buy and sell cryptocurrencies and now future NFTs and digital assets. It's one that millions of people use, and they charge a fee, and it's transparent, and they make billions of dollars. But if they integrate with an ecosystem like Shopify, which is a way bigger and better ecosystem than Square, Square's got a big competitor, a scary competitor.
Definitely.